Hi, I want to talk about the application of time value of money right now as far as loan decisions are concerned. So, how do we use the concepts of time value of money in order to decide what is the amount of loan to be taken, or if you are very clear that what is the amount of loan to be taken, what will be your installments. Typically, decision making revolves around these two things. If I am a salaried individual, I am earning X amount every month, then I know what can I afford to pay as an installment as Y amount every month, right. So, either I have clarity in terms of the installment that I am able to pay, or I have clarity in terms of what is the quantum of loan that I want. For example, if the idea is to buy an apartment worth 2 crores, I know that I'll have to fund it to an extent of 1.5 crores by taking a loan, and I don't have an idea about the installment that I'll have to pay. So, either which ways, this as a concept will be useful in either deciding the amount of loan that you want to take, or the amount of installment that you can actually pay, right. So, let me write down in terms of the instance and the example. Let us assume that the amount of loan is a small amount, 1,50,000. So, the amount that you want to borrow as loan is 1,50,000. Let us assume that the rate of interest which is prevailing is 10% per annum. So, rate of interest is 10% per annum, and let us also assume that the tenure of the loan is 5 years. So, the time period involved is 5 years. Now, what about repayment? Now, there are different types of repayments available in the real world. You could be paying a monthly installment, which is popularly known as an equated monthly installment, an EMI. It could be a quarterly repayment, a bi-monthly repayment, bi-yearly repayment, which is every 6 months, or it could be a yearly repayment. Let us take it simple right now. Let us assume that we are repaying this loan in 5 equal annual installments. So, the repayment is 5 equal annual installments, right. That's the idea. Now, let us put this problem in terms of a time value of money framework. What is the amount of loan that you are taking today? 1,50,000. So, the present value is 1,50,000 because that is the amount that you are taking today. So, when I am putting up this formula, present value, then the present value is 1,50,000, all right. Then I am saying is equal to annuity. Annuity is the equal amount of installment that you are going to pay. The definition of an annuity is the same amount paid periodically. So, 100 rupees every month, 500 rupees every 6 months, 1000 rupees every year. These are all examples of annual annuities, monthly annuities, quarterly annuities, and so on. So, our installment, which is an annual amount to be paid, that happens to be the annuity, multiplied by PVIFA. PVIFA stands for the present value interest factor of an annuity, A, the last part, right. PVIFA at the rate of 10% for a period of 5 years, right. So, I have 1,50,000. What do I need to calculate? The annuity amount, and PVIFA formula is 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus r raised to n, the whole divided by r. Now, this is not too difficult to remember. In fact, this is something that I would love that you guys remember over a period of time, because if you had to do a back of the envelope calculation in real life, if you walk into, let us say, a Chroma or a Sales India and say, hey, I want to buy this television, what is the EMI going to be, right? You don't actually need to rely on the salesman or the team over there to tell you what should the EMI be. If you know this formula, you can actually do it on your cell phone in terms of a calculator quickly, right? So, I'd really want you all to remember this as a formula, although another way of looking at it is through an Excel formula also, which we will do at a later point of time. But let me plug in the values over here. So, this formula is 1 minus 1 upon 1.10 raised to 5 the whole divided by 0.10. All right. So, let me use a simple calculator to calculate 1 upon 1.10 raised to 5. All right. So, 1 divided by 1.10 raised to 5 is 0.620, all right. So, that is 1 minus 0.6209 divided by 0.10, all right. That is a simple calculation. That comes to 3.7907, all right. That is the annuity, and that should be equal to 1,50,000. So, that is the formula that we are working on, right. So, it is a simple calculation, 1,50,000 divided by 3.7907. Therefore, your annuity, or it is also called your installment, will come to 39,570 per annum. So, if you take a loan of 1.5 lakh at the rate of 10% per annum for a period of 5 years, then every year you will end up paying to the bank an installment of 39,570, which includes your principal amount, that is 1.5 lakh that you have taken as a loan, along with the interest on a reducing balance at the rate of 10%. So, how much will you end up paying the bank? 39,570 into 5 installments. So, you will end up paying 1,97,852. That is, if I multiply this by 5 years, 5 installments, then it comes to 197, and the loan amount that I had taken was 150. So, there is an extra amount that I am paying to the bank, which is 150 and 197. The difference of that is the extra interest that I end up paying over a period of 5 years. So, now we know, given the amount of loan that you want, the rate of interest and the tenure, if you know the repayment schedule, which is either yearly, monthly, quarterly, 6 monthly and so on, you can use the PVFA formula. And I repeat, what is PVFA? It is the present value interest factor of an annuity, right. You use the PVFA formula to quickly calculate the installment amount. Now, what is the decision making? You should be clear that what is your, budget, what is the maximum installment that you are able to pay. If 39,570 is within your budget, you can take a quick decision that yes, I can afford this loan, 1.5 lakh at this rate of interest, 10% for this time period, which is 5 years. I hope that helps. Thank you.